Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about a major announcement coming out of Stripe. If you guys are not familiar with Stripe, they are one of the largest payment providers on planet Earth, processing over $1 trillion in market capitalization in just over $1 trillion in transactions in just the last year. The company is worth over $65 billion, and the co-founders ended up becoming some of the richest individuals on planet Earth under the age of 30 as a result of their work on Stripe. It is one of the most important companies on the face of the planet when it comes to e-commerce, and a company that I've been doing business with as the back-end service provider for the teachable payments that we get from CT2A. When you guys pay us with a credit card, goes through Stripe. So I'm very familiar with the company, and they have just announced that they are going to be working towards accepting USDC cryptocurrency payments. Now, they did originally bring on Bitcoin payments in 2014, but in 2018, they scrapped the project, citing that Bitcoin was too volatile and the transaction fees were going up to such a degree that it was no longer suitable for payments, but it was more suitable as an investment class asset, which is largely what it's becoming now. But with this development, the co-founders of Stripe believe that it is now time to step back into the cryptocurrency space, and today we're going to talk about why exactly that is such a big deal for the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market. We're also going to be talking about the short-term correction that could be coming on Bitcoin, so it's going to be a little bit of both today. We're going to be talking about some bullish news and some bearish possibilities, but at the end of the day, we will have more information on how to best prepare ourselves for the bull market that is still in full swing. My name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working on the cryptocurrency markets for almost 7 years now. Here in a couple of months, it'll be 7 years. And I've been helping to teach you guys how to build wealth in the cryptocurrency space for over 6 of those years. And it is my pride and joy to help you guys move closer towards something that I call financial sovereignty. If you're not familiar, financial sovereignty is the philosophy, is the biblical doctrine, actually, of bringing control and sovereignty and kingly authority over all of the things in our life, because when we do, that gives us the ability to grow those areas in our life which we are over. In the financial realm, that's called financial sovereignty, and that is the way that we actually build wealth, is by bringing sovereignty over our finances, by following some laws and a plan and building some wealth. Very excited to be here today, guys. Let's go ahead and read some chat. Stephen Alexander is in chat today, said morning all. Alex Nibo is in chat as well. I'm seeing a little bit of lag on my end. Hopefully it's good. You guys tell me. I think we're good. All right, we've got Kangen Water India in chat, Joe Bollier, Bob Riley, Sweet Bit of Bear. I also want to give a shout out to Serge. Poor Serge. Where's Crypto Serge? Or Serg. It's not Serge. Serg. Where's Crypto Serg? Are you in chat? I saw your comment yesterday saying that I don't interact with chat much anymore. I'm like, half the stream is me interacting with chat. What's going on? Hopefully your chat isn't being like restricted by YouTube or something. So shout out to him, longtime subscriber to the channel. Rave Song Records in chat, Sean O'Brien, Conrad Denif, Ampex Electricians 24/7, J Core, Schmedley B, Satchet, Jeremy Shorter, Dan, Rowan World, Stephen Young, Carter Pennington, Sweet Ben a Bear, and more. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's see if we can't keep the likes at 50% of the concurrent viewership. So there's 160 of you guys in chat. Let's see if we can't get up to 80 likes. Very much appreciate all of you for tuning in. So let's get started. After a 6-year hiatus, Stripe is going to be taking cryptocurrency payments starting with the USDC stablecoin. Now, I've already given you a lot of the information here, but something I thought was pretty cool about this article was the way that the co-founder of Stripe, John Collision, who's in a collision course with being worth over $100 billion one day if he keeps this up. He said, transaction settlements are no longer comparable with Christopher Nolan films for length, and transaction costs are no longer comparable with Christopher Nolan films for budget. Stripe is bringing back crypto payments, this time with stablecoins, which are a way better experience, end quote. So, very exciting news there. Not a whole lot of details we need to get into. Just know that Stripe is going to be bringing not only payouts for merchants like myself, I'm a merchant on Stripe, it's also going to be bringing payments in USDC on Stripe. That is a very big deal, and it also means for you guys that if Teachable integrates that functionality from Stripe, it actually means that you may be able to pay for CT2A with USDC. We'll see. Not totally sure, but it's something that may end up happening. One more step towards mass adoption of cryptocurrencies. Very, very exciting stuff. We have been in a war, this cryptocurrency space. We have been in an absolute bloody knuckled war with the Securities and Exchange Commission for the last several years, and there have been quite a few different articles that have been coming out lately. One of them has to do with the fact that the FBI, the SEC, and many others are coming at different cryptocurrency mixers. So Samori wallet, you guys have probably heard of that news at this point, has been seized, and they are currently being arrested and charged with money laundering. This is something that broke yesterday. I just want to mention this because we're going to kind of talk about the broader war between the United States Securities and Exchange Commission and these different entities. Crypto mixer Samori wallets co-founders were arrested for money laundering and for running a mixer. This is a couple of days ago, but it is still relevant because we've got a lot of this kind of stuff coming out. We've got a lot of people being arrested right now, a lot of big fines going on. Make no mistake, there is a war going on right now between the United States government, which is waging a full-scale, every branch of government-wide war on the cryptocurrency space and the cryptocurrency space. Now, the good news is, in general, except for maybe the SEC, much of the government is trying to go after the bad guys. The FBI, the DOJ, they're trying to go after the money launderers and the people running, very much illegal services. The SEC is the only part of government that seems to have a real vendetta against the cryptocurrency space, but it is difficult to build in times of war. And this is the point I want to make here as we move into the point of the stream today, which is talking about how the growth of the space is going to continue over the course of the next several years. What we need to look out for here is that it's difficult to build infrastructure in wartime. If any of you know somebody that is over the age of 90 and lived in Europe during the Second World War, they will be able to tell you exactly what it looked like in 1945. The entire continent was leveled. You were not building infrastructure in the middle of the Second World War. You weren't doing it, not as far as not where there was combat. And similarly, it's difficult for Bitcoin to build and for the cryptocurrency space to build while there's this open conflict going on between the United States Securities and Exchange Commission and many of the different actors in the cryptocurrency space. FTX, obviously, that has mostly wrapped up now. 3 Arrows Capital, Terraform Labs, all of these different bad actors have been pushed away, but there's still a lot of combat going on, even between Coinbase and the United States government, between Binance and the United States government, between so many other truly bad actors in the United States government. The good news is regulatory clarity is coming. It has become a government-wide initiative, actually set in place by Joe Biden himself, to try and bring regulatory clarity and jurisdiction into the cryptocurrency space, which if we're not afraid of following the law, so long as it's a just law, then that's not a bad thing. If it's an unjust law, then that's where you have to be very careful. But if there's just laws about money laundering and everything, then that's where you understand that the government does have a role to play in this. So my point here is that it's going to be difficult for Bitcoin. It's going to be very difficult for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space to reach its full potential in this conflict. That means that we are going to see many more years of growth, because Bitcoin is not just going to moonshot straight to its potential. Bitcoin's not just going to go straight to $400,000 or $500,000 or $1 million, start trading sideways. No, it's going to take time because this war is slowly, gradually wearing on. The infrastructure, the ingraining of the cryptocurrency space into the United States and the global fabric of society is going to take time. And because it takes time, it is going to stretch out the growth, which gives us a better growth trajectory. A couple of other news stories, for example, Argentina is going to be doing away with taxes on cryptocurrency, on Bitcoin anyway. Another one, so let's talk a little bit about how that all plays out here on the chart. Right now, in the short term, there are so many different factors that are pushing Bitcoin to and fro. And right now, the main ones are the United States stock market and the halving. Right now, the good news is the United States S&P 500 is actually bouncing. Bitcoin follows the S&P 500 very closely. And so when we've seen this correction on the S&P 500, we have seen a corrective movement on Bitcoin as well, as you can see right here. More recently, though, as the S&P 500 has started to bounce, then you've actually seen a bounce on Bitcoin as well. The question now becomes whether or not Bitcoin will continue this rally and even whether or not the S&P 500 will continue this rally. The S&P 500 has a price target down here as low as 480, and if you actually draw out the ascending triangle right here, the ascending wedge rather right here, then you will see if you draw a price target, actually makes a lot of sense, that original price target we were drawing down here around 480. So we could be seeing another drop coming soon in U.S. equities, and that would also likely lead to a drop in Bitcoin as well. So we're going to be paying close attention to all of that. Right now, it's very difficult to tell which direction Bitcoin is going to go, whether up or down, because we are already going sideways. We don't have a trend confirmation in either direction. So at the moment, we are mostly sitting on our hands, working on our personal finances, working on the structure, learning more about the space, growing and developing, even though there's not a whole lot going on with the price of Bitcoin. Let's take a pause and look at coin market cap. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at $64,500. It is up ever so slightly over the last 24 hours, but more or less sideways in the last week. Ethereum is up 0.25% in the last 24 hours and up 2% in the last 7 days. Binance is down 1% in the last 24 hours, but up 8% in the last 7 days. Very bullish moves going on there. Solana is sitting at $144. XRP sitting at 52 cents. Toncoin above Cardano now. Very exciting for the Toncoin community and all of our Telegram users here. It's currently sitting at $5.42, up about 2.5% in the last 24 hours, but still down 15% on the week. Cardano's been sideways on every time frame measurable. Tron has gone through a major rally, but in general, the entire cryptocurrency space is trading sideways and consolidating and waiting and waiting and waiting. And that's what we also should be doing right now, is waiting and waiting and waiting. Right now, there is a great degree of patience needed if you want to succeed in this market. You're going to have to be patient. You see, when you are doing anything in life, it is absolutely critical that you understand that the way you get there is by momentum. The way that you build momentum is with consistent effort that is done in a patient manner over time. Again, for example, I mentioned this the other day. The way that this channel got off the ground and got to its first 50,000 subscribers was I made one video 7 days a week for 3 years straight. That's what I did. That's how the channel got off the ground, got CT2A launched, had a whole business model, and it was functional, right? That's the way it happened. Is I was consistent in something that worked, and I was patient over time. It's a little bit like an investment, isn't it? You invest in things that you reasonably expect will appreciate in value over time. I invested in a YouTube channel that I reasonably expected would appreciate in value over time because I was putting consistent and focused effort into it. And so that is what we have to do right now in cryptocurrency if we want to be successful. We have to put consistent and focused effort into our investments into a plethora of things. Please do not just invest in crypto. There are 3 major things that you can invest in that you can use to change your family tree from a wealth perspective. Number 1, you can get out of debt. Debt is slavery. It is bondage. You know, it's so funny. People in the cryptocurrency space hate on banks, and then they go to a bank and borrow money to buy crypto. Like, what are we doing? That's not smart. Don't do that. No. First thing you can do to build wealth, don't owe your wealth to somebody else. Number 2, you can invest in the United States stock market. It is the biggest generator of generational wealth that the human race has ever known. It's worth over $30 trillion for a good reason. Just the United States stock market. Global market's worth over $100 trillion for a very good reason. The second thing that you can do to build wealth is invest in the United States stock market. The third thing that you can also do to build wealth is you can invest in the cryptocurrency space. You can invest in Bitcoin. You can invest in Ethereum for the long run, and then you can start playing with smaller cap coins. Oh, but Jeb. I don't think that Bitcoin or Ethereum are going to rally that much. Welcome to investment. Okay, anywhere else, real estate, stocks, most businesses, you're expecting an 8 to 12% return. In crypto, you can expect it to maybe double in the next year. Maybe in the next 10 years, average a 50 to 100% return on Bitcoin and ETH. The two cryptocurrencies that are the most institutionalized cryptocurrencies in the entire game. Number one way to build wealth. One of the number one ways to build wealth. Get out of debt and stop owing your wealth to other people. Number two, invest in the United States stock market. Number three, invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then, yeah, play with the other coins if you want to. But you'll be fine if you don't. If you do those three things, you'll build wealth. Now, you got to do the whole totality of the financial sovereignty way and follow all 6 laws of money. But if you do those things, then you will be much better off. But if you only do one of them, you'll have a hard time. If you invest in the stock market and you don't get out of debt, then your assets and your liabilities are going to end up probably not balancing themselves out. You're probably going to end up owing more than you've invested, because as humans, we are people, we are creatures of habit, and traditionally we spend money, a lot of money. So if you're not on a budget and keeping your expenses under control and making sure you're continuing to invest, you're not going to do very well. Same thing with crypto. If you only invest in crypto, you don't pay off debt, you don't invest in the stock market, you're really exposed out there, man. You're really exposed. So be careful with that. And if you only pay off debt, you're never going to build wealth. You just won't be in debt. You can still be broke. You just won't go bankrupt. You got to do all three. Do all three. You'll be better off. All right, I'm going to read some chat, and then we're going to keep moving on. But before I do want to let you know that today's stream is brought to you in part by NordVPN. And the reason that I want to let you know about NordVPN is because NordVPN is working hard to keep you safe and secure while you browse online. If you go to nordvpn.com/Jeb and sign up for a 2-year plan, you will be getting the software that you need to protect yourself while you browse online. NordVPN operates by shrouding your IP address and rerouting your internet search activity so that you are not visible to everyone, whether those be data brokers that are harvesting your information, selling it to scam callers and people that are trying to steal from you, whether that information be available to hackers and thieves, or whether it be available to banks and governments that are going to try and tell you what you can and cannot do. Best thing that you can do for your security online is to sign up for NordVPN with the link down below. Let's read some chat. Let's be honest, you don't use a mixer to protect your privacy unless you got something to hide. Yeah, please, guys, whether you like mixers or not, don't use them. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I understand the feeling of, oh, I want to rebel. That's not the way to do it. Rebel by getting out of debt and getting a good CPA so you pay as little in taxes as possible, not by doing something stupid that's going to get you thrown in jail, because they will start coming for you. Enforcement's coming. Do not use cryptocurrency mixers. Period. Don't do it. All right. If a judge has already said the SEC has been abusing his powers, when does someone step in? Isn't that arrestable offense at CryptoJeb? Oh, boy. There's so many things that are arrestable offenses in this world. Doesn't mean they get arrested. Oh, man. Press O'Neill, my friend, I know that you've paid some attention to politics in the last 10 years. I'm just messing with you, man. I know what you mean. But yes, no, I absolutely agree that, you know, I'm not a judge, and I'm glad for that, because I would not probably be a very good one. I'd have to do a whole lot of study to be a good judge. I don't know, but I think that Gary Gensler's probably guilty of something. Like I said, luckily I'm not the judge because I don't have all the evidence in front of me, but I wouldn't be surprised. All right. This afternoon, after lunch money will cease to exist. What in the world? Okay, let's see. Someone said, Thomas said, Jeb never answers my questions. What happened to my 2 assistants? So there were creative differences. Everyone went on their own way, and everybody's doing well. Isn't it beautiful? It's so beautiful. It's just beautiful the way the world works like that. Yeah. Anybody that's still wondering about everything that happened with the former team, let me just make one thing very clear. I, you, they, them, America, everyone that has ever been born except for one, have all made mistakes. There were mistakes made on every side of that situation, mine own included, and considering I was and still am the 100% owner of the company, that falls on me. I will answer for that. So hate on anybody that was a former employee of the company. I want kindness towards everybody. And I also know that the individuals you guys are talking about, while they may have made their own mistakes, and I think they did, and I made my own mistakes, and I know I did, I think that everybody was trying. Sometimes people do foolish things because they care so much. All right. Let's read some chat. Greed is a hell of a drug, Verhoofdy Floofin said. Not in response to that. It was bad timing. He's talking about the government there, I think. Shadrack Frost said, happy hashtag Fence-Off Friday, folks. Hashtag God is good. Absolutely. Or he might have been talking about the mixer situation. All right. Let's see. Brutal. Being brutal in his comments said, yay! So happy Joe Biden himself is leading regulation for us. I know. Wouldn't he just be the general you want to have on the field in front of you? I'm just kidding. None of them. None of them. All a bunch of nonsense going on Capitol Hill. What's the thing on the top shelf on the right? It looks like a wrestling belt. Yeah, it was an award I got in 2021 for being voted the #1 technical analyst in the industry on YouTube. So, need to clean it, obviously, but see. BIA, I don't know if let's see if I can catch the light. See if I'll catch the light. Blockchain Influencers Award right there. I don't know if you can see that. So, I keep it up here. It's pretty cool. Gotta fix it. There we go. Probably have to fix that after the stream. There we go. All right, so let's keep it moving here, guys. We got a lot to talk about. All right. Texas in-house. Shout out to Texas. Certainly wouldn't want Biden... I need to read these questions. I need to read these questions before I actually start reading them out loud. All right, now let's talk a little bit about where Bitcoin's going to go next, because obviously that is what we are most interested in. Here's the thing. We don't have a lot of direction right now, so we don't have a lot to go off of. I will never come on this stream and tell you something when I don't have anything to back it up. If I don't have evidence for a position, I'm not going to take the stupid position. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to come on the stream and say, this is what you should do, or this is what I think will happen, without having a very good reason for saying that. And so that's where it gets hard sometimes when we're in sideways action, because there's not a lot that I can really say with a lot of confidence here, because I don't have much to go on. Technical analysis is the art and science of analyzing what a market has done in the past to make predictions about what it will do in the future. In the longer term perspectives, I can make quite a lot of assertions about where I think we will go over the course of the next 6 to 12 months, and pretty much every one of them is up. Making an assertion about where it's going to go in the next few days becomes very difficult when there's no discernible trend. The only thing that I can say for certain right now is that Bitcoin is building a head and shoulders pattern here on the hourly chart. It's not the most beautiful head and shoulders pattern, but I don't have the most beautiful head and shoulders either, but it's real. And this head and shoulders pattern does give us a price target that points us down towards about $59,000. We are also currently seeing a bear flag form right here, which reminisces of a pattern that I have seen before. It's so interesting. When I've been analyzing this chart almost every single day for the better part of a decade. And so sometimes when I'm analyzing Bitcoin in particular, a light bulb goes off in my head and says, oh, wait a minute, you've seen this before. And that just happened, literally just now. I've seen this pattern before. You want to know where? We got to go way back. We got to go back, way back. What movie is that from? To here. If you'll notice, it's a very similar pattern that we saw in the bear market in 2022. We saw bearish action. Then we saw a recovery, but the recovery was not as rapid as the drop. We built out this ascending trading channel right here. And then from there, Bitcoin would go into a drop once again, even farther than the original drop was. And it ended up being that that was the third wave of the bear market. As you can see here, we had our first wave of the bear market. This was our wave 1, Elliott Impulse Wave 1. Then we had our Elliott Corrective Wave 2 that went against the primary trend. The primary trend is bearish. The 2 wave was bullish because it's going contradictory to the primary trend. It's a corrective wave. Primary trend's down. It's correcting, which means it's going the opposite direction, so it's going up. That leads us into the third wave here that was about as large as the first. It was about a $40,000 crash. Then we saw the fourth wave here, which is the second corrective wave. First corrective wave, second corrective wave, first impulse wave, second impulse wave, third impulse wave, followed by another drop. And the market that we're analyzing right now in the shorter term time frames reminds me a whole lot of this market. And if I switch over here quickly, hopefully you'll be able to see that. You see the similarity here? We've got that rapid correction, a slower recovery, and we've just had, for that matter, a double top. Even back then in that old market, we had seen a double top. Am I saying that a bear market is forming? No. Am I saying that a new downtrend could be forming? Yes. And this is about the extent of what I have to go off of right now on Bitcoin, is that there is a pattern here that shows bearishness, and we are under a confirmed sell signal on Bitcoin. That being said, we have already more or less hit the take profit. So again, I say, it's difficult to tell what's going to happen next, but that's okay. You know, the thing is, everybody wants to get caught up on being able to predict the future with 100% certainty. What if I told you don't need to predict the future to make the most out of this market? What if I told you that it's not about predicting the future? It's not about predicting the future that makes you successful. It's about being prepared when the future comes. You see, a wise man once said, don't worry about the past because the past is in... Let's see. A wise man once said, don't worry about the past because the past is under God's mercy. Don't worry about the future because the future is under God's providence. Worry about the present because that's truly the only thing that you can control. Oh, how's that for a quote? I wish I could say that was an original. You don't need to predict the future to be able to chart your future. You don't need to know what happens next to be ready for what may happen next. And you don't have to tell where Bitcoin is going to go to tell yourself how to invest with sovereignty. When we are looking at the cryptocurrency markets, all day we can say that Bitcoin is going to do this, or it's going to do that. It's going to go up, or it's going to go down. It's going to go up a little bit, or it's going to go up a lot of it. It's going to go down. It's going to do this and that and that. And that's... And we can really get carried away with that. And it's fun. It's enjoyable. It is so fun, almost to a fault, to try and predict what Bitcoin does next. It is important. I do stand by it. I think price predictions and price targets are an important part of the equation. They help us to know when to get in and when to get out. I'm not discrediting that part of analysis. It is an incredibly important part of it. But what I will say is that, as I said earlier, the only thing that we have any control and authority over is the present and what we do with it. What was that the Master Oogway says in the first Kung Fu Panda? There's a reason that there's a reason that it's called but today is called the present because it's a gift. How does that go? Somebody will quote that in chat. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. That's what he said. The only thing we can control is the present. And what we can do in the present is ensure that we are dollar cost averaging into markets that we reasonably expect will appreciate in value over time. This is the fifth law of money, which is save money and invest for wealth generation. And then if the market drops, we can be opportunistic and we can load up bags then. Notice, how many people do you know that predicted that 2008 was going to happen? Now, how many people do you know that got rich in 2008? I've been around both kinds of people. The people that predicted it and the people that got rich in it. Those two are normally not the same person. You ever notice that? Normally the people that predicted that 2008 were coming didn't do anything about it because they were so caught up with, aha, I was right. I knew this was going to happen. Instead of saying, I'm buying. Now, back up. Think about how many people that got wealthy in 2008. A lot of them actually got completely blindsided. They had no idea what was coming. But they still ended up making a lot of money. And the reason that they ended up making a lot of money is because they weren't so caught up on, I called it. Instead, they were caught up on saying, I got $1.37 million in cash over here waiting to deploy. Got $10 million in investments anyway. S&P is down 50, 60, 70%. I'm going to buy. Real estate selling at 25 cents on the dollar. I'm going to buy. They didn't call it, but they got rich. They're no smarter than you and I, but they made millions. How? Because they had cash, they didn't have debt, and they had the ability to buy stuff when it was cheap. And that's how they built wealth. They had money on the side, and when an opportunity showed up, they were opportunistic, and they made money. And good for them. Most of the people that made money in 08 had no idea it was coming. But when it did, they were ready. Let's read some chat. Certainly, let's see. Thanks, Jeb. Oh, you're welcome. The Warriors come out and play. All right. That's so cool. Hell yeah. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but... Oh, you're talking about the belt, probably. Texas in-house. I love that. All right. Blockchain James said, wise word, Jeb, as usual. Thank you so much. Sounds a lot like market sentiment, even when you know fear is real. Yep. Technical analysis and predicting what's going to happen is very important, and I would rather you do both, by the way. I would rather you know that the crash is coming and be ready for it, but if you can only do one, be ready for it. If you see, here's the thing. Being ready for a market crash and saying, hey, I got money squirreled away, that's more of a behavioral thing. It's a behavior to say, I'm going to skip the Snickers bar and put the $1.79 into paying off my mortgage. That's a behavioral thing. What is a mathematical thing is deciding to do the analysis and realizing, oh my gosh, a major market crash is coming. There's a lot of smart people out there that are fools, and there's a lot of fools out there that are, there's a lot of unintelligent people out there that are rich. There's not many foolish rich people, but there's a lot of unintelligent, some people would call stupid people. I don't call them stupid people. I think they're beautifully and wonderfully made in the image of God, but there's a lot of people that would call them stupid that are very wealthy. You know why? Because they got the behavior down. In other words, building wealth is not a head knowledge thing. That helps. Don't get me wrong. I want you to have a lot of intelligence and knowledge and understanding and math and all of that. That's all great. Building wealth is a behavioral thing, mainly. How much money are you going to put into cryptocurrency on a weekly basis? How much money are you going to get put into paying off debt on a weekly basis? How much effort are you going to put into having a budget that you update once a month, every month for that month? How much effort are you going to put into changing your family tree? How much effort are you going to put in to not living like that anymore? You know what I'm talking about. You know what that is in your life. Think about it. It's visceral. What is that? What is that you're not going to be like anymore? I'm not going to be like that. I'm done. That ends with me. You know how many songs are written by new fathers? It ran in the family till it ran into me. You ever heard that song? He doesn't say it that way. But there's a little bit of done with this. This ends with me. I'm done. This is over now. I put an end to this. You get some passion behind that, and you got to plan with that passion so it doesn't just turn you into a freaking jerk that's always angry about things, and you say, I am over it. This changes now. That's not a math equation, guys. It's a heart equation. It happens in here, and you say, I'm over it. My kids deserve better. My wife deserves better. I don't deserve anything. I deserve hell. But everybody around me deserves better, right? That's when you start making the changes that it takes to change your family tree. And that's when you start saying, I am going to put money into cryptocurrency. Even if I would rather be out enjoying that money. I am going to put money into paying off debt, even though I would rather be out enjoying that money. I am going to put money into being generous, even though I would rather be out enjoying that money. I am going to put money into my 401k with the match and the Roth IRA in the United States stock market, even though I would rather be out there enjoying that money. I am going to put money into a cash account so that I can buy the dip when Bitcoin crashes, even though I would rather be out enjoying that money, because I want to set myself up that I am no longer like that. What is that to you? What is that? You know what it is. You know it. It's visceral. You think about it and it brings you to tears. And you say to yourself, I'm done. No more. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm over it. This ends now. I'm done. That's okay. Don't let this weak culture, this wimpish culture, beat you down and tell you that it's not okay to put your foot down with a little bit of energy and say, I'm done with this. This is over and we're changing. It's a good thing. Obviously, be kind. I'm not saying to be a jerk about it. But nothing in what I said means that I'm a jerk. It means that I'm done with that, whatever it is. What is that? I want to hear what that is to you in chat. Got to have conviction, though. Financial literacy is key. Absolutely. We've got to have the financial literacy. We've got to have some head knowledge. You just don't have to have a PhD to build wealth. You don't. Most entrepreneurs are not Most people that get wealthy are a little bit more intelligent than average, but I would argue that's not something genetic. That's the way they think that can be changed. I think IQ is a lot more fluid than people think it is. And they're also normally not up in the 160, 170, 180, 190 IQ range because those people are off doing theoretical physics. They don't care about money, right? And a lot of times their own intelligence gets in the way of wisdom, which has been made to look foolish by man. It can be both. I'm definitely a fool, just extremely disciplined and habitual rule follower. Hey, look, you know, I was talking to we do our financial coaching, and I was talking to a engineer, a software engineer. So cool. I was like, this is going to be great for you. I ran through the financial sovereignty way for him. He was sitting there just vigorously taking notes. I was like, you're going to love this because your whole job is following rules and building rules that the computers follow. You are going to love this. I'm going to give you a 10-step process to become a millionaire. If you, with what you tell me, I think in 15 or 20 years, you could be worth 10 million bucks. And he went, really? I said, yeah, I'm serious. If you do what I'm about to teach you, you could do that. Like that's possible. Not saying it's going to happen, but it's possible. He's like, really? Wow, I'm so excited. I was like, yeah. But now it's up to you. He's like, yeah, cool. It's a great call. But that's the great thing, is that if you can become, by the world's standards, foolish enough to follow some simple rules over and over and over again, some simple laws over and over and over again, repeatably, you'll build wealth. By the way, if you want to build wealth and keep wealth, I do want to let you guys know that there is a great way to store your wealth, and that is in Uphold by Vault. I want you guys to go check this out. If you go to the link in the description box down below, go to Uphold, Products and Services, and Vault here, you will see their assisted self-custody storage. So what does that mean? Essentially, with Vault, you have 2 keys that open your vault. If you should lose one of them, Uphold has another one. You need any 2 of these 3 keys to open your vault. Either your 2 keys, which is ideally what will happen, or your 1 key in the Uphold key, or the 2 key in the Uphold key. But notice, Uphold can never unlock your vault and get into your Bitcoin and XRP because they only have 1 key. And you will always be able to get into it because you have 2 keys. And should you lose one of them, Uphold will replace the other one to co-sign the transaction, get you into the wallet. Great product. Make sure to check it out with the link in the description box down below. Your vault has 3 keys. 2 are always required to move assets. You are in control. Ooh, I love it when things tell me that I am in control. That is a synonym for sovereignty. Check them out down below. If crypto fails you, preaching will be there, Jeb. That will always be something I'm doing. I will always be trying to preach. I've been definitely given the heart of a teacher. I also do want to let you guys know, because this is really cool. Today is #FinSov Friday, so I thought it no better of a day to announce this. This has been a dream of hers for a long time, and she's really good at this kind of stuff too. My wife, if you guys don't know, was my better half when we met financially. I was making a lot of money, but I was pretty foolish with it. If I'm gonna be honest, I probably spent about $1,500 a month eating out. Now at the time we were making, about $120,000 a month or so, about $1.5 million a year. I was being really dumb with it because I was the person where it's wealth gained by vanity will soon be diminished. And I built a lot of wealth really quickly, had no experience from my childhood or from my young adulthood on how to run a budget, how to get out of debt, which I didn't have any debt in the first place. I knew to avoid that anyway. So I was really foolish with money. I met her and I'm like, whoa. We got married. Obviously, I love my wife to death, but one of the things I love about her, she's so good with money. Her testimony, you'll read it when I show you the link here in just a second. She was living, and this is something she's decided to make public. She's going to start you're going to start seeing her more. She was living on $1,200 a month as a single mom and managed to save up to buy an entire camper on her own with a baby, mind you. Absolutely incredible woman. And she's very, very, very in tune with the disciplines of sovereignty. In fact, a lot of the things that I have learned, and you've heard me teaching in the last 2.5 years, have come from my better half and I sitting down and talking about things and looking into the Bible and helping us to realize, hey, this is what it says. This is what it means. This is what you do if you want to be successful. So she has come on as a financial coach. And so she's now going to be available. You guys can book financial coaching with her. And this is the page right over here. I'm not going to scroll down yet because there's actually a picture of her. I want you guys to go and see because this is also her face reveal day because her face is on this picture and it's beautiful. obviously. She's my dearly beloved wife. This is the financial coaching page. It is linked in the description box down below. If you're interested in signing up for financial coaching with my wife, then you can check that in the link in the description box down below. And if you want to see her, there's also a picture of her. So I'm going to force you to go to the landing page so you can read how awesome she is. And you'll see her there. So shout out to my dearly beloved, darling angel wife who is starting on as a financial coach. So check her out with financial coaching. She's just absolutely awesome. Going to help you a whole lot with that. $1,500 a month eating out. You was having tomahawk every day. We have a BJ's brew house. I was so famous for my BJ's. My brew house. Yeah. The BJ's brew house, they had this really nice blonde ale. And I would have that delivered to my house every night. And then they had these Pazookies. These Pazookies were immaculate. They're these brownies, ice cream on top. I'd have that door dashed to my door every night. It was so stupid. So dumb. So dumb. We don't do that anymore, obviously. We're much better with our money now than we were back then. So stupid. But yeah, I was really dumb with money. Definitely interested. I spent more than $1,500 worth with DoorDash for sure. Yeah, I spent way too much money on that. If I had learned about the financial sovereignty principles that we know and teach right now 7 years ago when I started all this, we'd probably be worth over $50 million right now. Just to be totally honest with you. I don't say that to be prideful, just looking back and saying, okay, with what I had at my disposal, what I was able to do, if I had to apply the principles that we teach right now, we'd probably be worth over $50 million right now. And I'm not trying to be prideful with that. I'm just being honest. That's probably where we'd be right now. And we're doing very well for ourselves, don't get me wrong, but it ain't 50 million yet. We'll be one day, though. So shout out to my awesome wife. As I said, she'll be starting her own financial coaching journey. So check her out with the link in the description box down below. She's got such a heart to help people, guys. She's got such a heart to help people. She's been wanting to do this kind of thing for so long. We're finally pulling the trigger. Really exciting. All right. Yeah. This is a funny article. Somebody referenced this. Got to clear this up. SEC Chair Gary Gensler's social media post led some to believe he was resigning, which is not really true. He said, it's been an honor to serve as SEC Governor Chair over the last 3 years. I've seen firsthand how the incredible staff of the SEC serve investors and issuers alike. A thread. Yeah, he's not actually resigning, just to be clear. Now, I do also want to let you guys know about Crypto.com, who is one of the sponsors of our channel. They've got over 80 million users, and for a good reason. If you have not already signed up for Crypto.com, you should. You should also check out The Inevitable, their latest film here. As I said, they've got over 80 million users worldwide, and this is an incredible place to start your recurring purchases, which is also what we call dollar cost averaging into the cryptocurrency space through their app. So make sure to go to the link in the description box down below, go through that link, and sign up and get started today. You'll be glad you did. All right, we're going to wrap out on time here, but we're going to read some chat. Shadrach Frost said, Jeb, because of you, through Christ, I'm a better man financially, faithfully, and spiritually. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Shadrach Frost. That was so much fun. Ampex Electricians 24/7 said, you have plenty of money, Jeb. Enjoy spending on family. You can't take it to the grave. Oh, no, I know. Absolutely. Absolutely. My wife and I just spent a few $1,000s on a weekend, guys. I know all about that. Very excited to be... very excited to be, very excited to be spending, enjoying. As I tell people all the time, there are 3 ways that you can use your money. you can use it for enjoyment, and you should. You can use it for enjoyment, and you should. You can invest with it, and you should. And you can be generous with it, and you should. And the fact of the matter is, those are all good things that you should do with your money. And you will be blessed when you do all 3 of them. So yeah, I was very dumb with money. She helped me. And she's very knowledgeable on the behavioral side of money and everything. Not that she's not knowledgeable on all the practical, on the actual textbook stuff either, but she's also very, very good on the behavioral side of thing. Hey Jeb, how's the no coke thing going? Going well. Completely stopped. Don't drink any Coke. I'm drinking decaf coffee right now just because it tastes good, but it doesn't have any caffeine in it. Really enjoying being sovereign over my body and not drinking caffeine every day. Don't like being addicted to anything. I will be mastered by nothing, but I will master those things around me. I do appreciate all of you for tuning in, and we're going to try and be on time all the time and wrap up on time. The technical end time for the stream is 10:45, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and sign up for financial coaching with my wife, Sarah, with the link in the description box down below if you'd like to learn more about how to put your life in order and on track financially. It'll be one of the best things you've ever spent money on, so make sure to check out the link for that in the description box down below. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.